Hi, this is Alan Lepofsky from Constellation Research. I'm going to go over a few of the key news items of the social business market that took place this week. I'm going to start with Microsoft Convergence Conference taking place in Atlanta. This is the conference that houses all the information about the Microsoft Business Division or Business Solutions Division. Essentially, think of it as things that are happening around Microsoft Dynamics. Now, they do cover a lot more things. That's just kind of essentially what the core of the conference is. So, for example, for the social business space, what interests me the most is this week they announced the rollout of Microsoft Delve that's starting to begin for the Office 365 customers. Delve is something that was mentioned last year. It's essentially a new type of search and discovery user interface built on top of what they're calling the Office Graph. So essentially, Microsoft goes off and scans all the information in your Office 365 network, various different types of content, as you can see here, things like Office 365 content, Yammer posts, SharePoint information, all of the files that are in your environment, and it email attachments, and it returns to you all of the things that are most relevant to you specifically, instead of it being sort of a generic search engine where everybody types things in and they find the same things. In Delve, you're able to get back relevant information to you presented in this really nice card format. And there you can have conversations around it, you can share it, etc. I've said it before, but I honestly think Delve is probably one of the most important advancements in the Office suite. Since them moving apps to mobile or to the web, this is the first big thing that's going to kind of change the game for the way people use Microsoft Office. So more on that later. The second topic I'd like to go over is a social task management vendor, Liquid Planner. Now, Liquid Planner competes with the likes of Asana, Workfront, which used to be AtTask, Basecamp, Redbooth, Smartsheet, Trello, and many others. They do a really good job of enabling teams to plan and execute on projects and engineering and marketing and sales campaigns, etc. What they have released this week is a new dashboard view. So the dashboard is a quick at-a-glance way of seeing status of projects, trends on meeting expectations and things. These are all widgets that can be customized on the dashboard. I like the way they've made it very, very customizable, and you're able to drag and drop and sort of configure the user interface to be or to display the information that you need the most. So I encourage you all, if you're looking for project management tools that kind of integrate in the social elements of sharing and collaboration and teamwork, along with the others that I mentioned, make sure to check out Liquid Planner. The third thing that I'm going to cover today is the Adobe Document Cloud. This was announced at Adobe Summit. It's a brand new offering that sort of advances what they're doing with the PDFs of the world that we've all learned to live with and use every day as part of our jobs. The Adobe Cloud or Document Cloud brings together all sorts of things that you used to have to do in different tools. So things like signing with different applications. They have brand new mobile clients. They have tracking. All sorts of really interesting things built into this. One of the most interesting things that I saw in the demo they gave me is when you're creating PDFs now and scanning them in from your mobile devices, they have incorporated some technology from Photoshop that will allow you to straighten out the edges of something that's off-centered. It will apply what they call their Photoshop magic to sort of apply lighting and shading and clarity and things to really bring out that scan and make it better. So again, the theme here is sort of to try to limit the amount of tools you have to use instead of switching back and forth and using a photo editor and using a scanner and using a PDF creator and all of these in a different file sharing tool. All these different things can all sort of take place now in the Adobe Document Cloud. Now, it's a little early to tell, but it's a gray line there where they compete with the core file sharing vendors like Box, Dropbox, Intralinks, Ignite, and some others, even where they start to blur the lines with collaboration vendors as you start to collaborate around some of these documents. So the co-authoring, the sharing, the liking, the commenting, the storing. Again, Adobe says it's completely complementary. They work extremely well with all of those vendors, collaboration vendors and file sharing vendors. But clearly, Adobe is adding as much functionality into their own product as they possibly can. Next up is Circuit by Unify. So Circuit is one of the new breeds of persistent chat rooms that sort of brings together social networking and unified communication into one screen. It competes with the likes of Atlassian's HipChat. Cisco has something new called Project Squared. There's a great tool out there called Glip. There's Hall, there's Slack, there's a whole bunch of other things that are sort of working in this new environment that brings together all of these different forms of communication. So you have sort of enterprise social networking, you have unified communication tools like chat and video conferencing, you have file sharing, and it brings them all together into this new user experience. So what they announced this week are some new connectors to telephony and Microsoft Exchange. One of the main things they did there, this is sort of one of their first external integrations from products not made by them, is connector to Box. So you can do file sharing directly inside it from Box. Many of their competitors offer Box as well as several others, Google Drive, OneDrive, and many other file sharing vendors. So it's great that they're adding that. But they have some catch up to do there. Guest access to make it easier to bring in external people. They have an Android app, which is great. Not all of us are iPhone users. I myself use Android, so I'm glad to see that. But perhaps what interests me the most is this. It's coming soon. It's not introduced yet, but it's their integration with OpenExchange. And they say it will allow you to collaborate on documents in real time. So for me, I'm certainly interested in where they're going with that. If you're not familiar with OpenExchange, it's sort of a Microsoft Office, Google Docs, Zoho Docs sort of competitor. There's Text, which is a word processor. There is, let's keep scanning down here, there's Spreadsheet, which is an Excel, Google spreadsheet type of competitor. And then, of course, they have a presentation tool as well. So, again, adding this sort of integration directly into Unify will be very interesting. I look forward to seeing what they do with that. And finally, let's cover the announcement of IBM and Twitter shipping the products that they announced last October, or the partnership they announced last October, where IBM has access to use the data inside the Twitter stream. So, for example, there's two different things that they're showing great demos of. The first of which is being able to build custom applications using IBM Bluemix, where you can integrate Twitter data directly into those applications. So here there's an application for insurance, sort of pulling in information, or clinical research, pulling information about what people are talking about out in Twitter. And then the second is IBM Watson Analytics, their great visual business intelligence insights sort of tool, where you can now bring in Twitter data. So for here, you can see they're saying, tweets containing the top hashtags. You go in natural language, and it brings back information. So the charts and business intelligence that you're creating in IBM Watson Analytics can now pull in and correlate Twitter information to help you glean more insight than you could before without that information. So very interesting stuff. Again, this was announced last October, but just this week, IBM is making this available in Bluemix and to Watson Analytics customers. Well, there you have it. Lots of news coming in the next edition. Thanks for listening.